Today is what I think is the 52nd day. 52nd is a divine number. It's the Milui of the name Ben, as they say in Sephardi, or Ban, as they say in Ashkenaz. So here we have our king, King David. King David is going to do we're going to read his psalm, his song, number 40. And in this psalm, it kind of gives you an idea of how the wheel of life goes. There are times when you're healed, when you've overcome a very difficult situation, maybe whatever it may be, and it constantly is happening in this world. Okay, that's it for this year. Didn't make it. Yeah, okay, I'm here. Okay, so I got to see what I did with the books. I think I have the books in the other room. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Let me call you back. That we won't have an interruption. Okay, where is he? I didn't really off balance. I'm such a prima donna. I want to be a prima donna. Okay, how are you? All right. So, where are we holding time-wise here? Okay, 7:30, so we'll have a few minutes. I just want to look at the RASHASH again, and we're trying to move on and just look at, I don't know what I was when I was in college. I was a language major. So, like, analyzing things like that, I never got into something like this, but I just have an interest in trying to understand what he's doing. So we went to the first side. All we could do is just see what he's doing. I just don't know how to say it. He starts out with Bin and goes in Yiskadav Yiskadash. He starts off with Bin, and this is a generation of light which is coming down into the Chagad, the Nai Chagad, the Chagad. It has something to do with going into some Vok area. He has different definitions of it, which I'm not familiar with. I haven't seen them, as I pointed out several times in this first piece, Yiskadav Yiskadash. That I was saying that he calls the Nai v'chagat the chagat zah. He says they're Eric Anpin and the Nook and Yisrael Sabav Devuna. That's what's called Zah, he says. And to me, that makes no sense, but I assume that it's because he's using that kind of language. He has an origin someplace. It's like Rebbe Nachman says that you really need to look at the very beginning of the RASHASH to see how he's using words. But here we go. Any rate, and the background, we'll hope we'll find it. Maybe we'll find it in the typical Vanos. So then we go to Shemay Rabbah, and I think we did these two yesterday. And it's a very similar kind of thing. We're bringing it down. This seems to be the Shemay is on the left side, but on the paper it's on the right side. That's what's so confusing about it. And then he says the Rabbah, which is on the left side, is actually referring to Chochmah, which is on the right side. So this generation is a flow of light that's going down to the Nai of the Vok on one side and the Nai, the Zah on the other side. And I'm not sure how he arrived at these different kinds of definitions. Let's go to the next one, which is one that, let me bring this up a little bit more. So this one is just the Yidid, Yiskadal, Yiskadal, Shemay, Rabbah, and then you're going to say Amen. So then he says, this is a fairly simple, I think. He says, Yekavin lahamtek hamochin de ivor v'diyanika. Okay, that's all the continence, right? There's two levels of continence. Of what? Of dava be'ima bereshimo the chavayis the godless. Now, where this line, this idea came from. I understand what he's going to do. So he's going to do it. We're going to see it. He's going to make a yichud between. Oh boy, we got it on the screen. He's going to make a yichud between the Havaya and the Elokim. He's going to do that over and over again. He's going to do it. Well, it looks like it's 12 times. We'll read a little bit more, and we'll see what happens here. He says you're going to make a. Let's read again. Yakavin lahamtika mochen de iba v'yanika, which are mochen de katnus, and they're dinim. They come from Abba Ve'ima Bereshimo. There was a Rishimo that was godless at one time, because maybe the godless comes and goes. Maybe that's what we're talking about, because you were early in the davening. So there's still a Rishimo of that. To Havayas the godless, the Lahaber call Havaya Be'elokim, and to put them all together. And you see this on the right side. So the right side shows six, right? So he says there's 6 of Yanika, 12 of Yanika, I'm not sure, 6 of Yanika, and there's 6 of Eber the Abba. So it's the Yanika the Abba, and 6 of the Eber the Abba. That's what that says. Okay, and they're going down the Yanika the Ema, then they're all going in, I don't know, the Ika the Eber and the Eber the Ema. So, not sure. The first set is for the Yanika, the second set is for the Ebor. Okay, the set on the right, the set on the left. Okay, that's why here that he's done there. So he's got 2 sets of Abba Ve'ima, Eber and Yanika, both of them being sweetened by Havayas. Now, and then after that he says this other one, which we may have seen before, maybe you're familiar with it. I don't really look at it too much. And Va'ona makaho amen. So he says, what's going on in the word amen? And why, he said, when you say that, this is my thinking, you're generating light. So he says, what the light is you're generating? Well, this is the light that's coming from the 2 payas at the top of the head, which is 2 kales. And the kale in the milui is 185 plus 185 is 370. So there's your 370. But from there, and maybe we had a hint to this, or we'll see it maybe in the Sifra Tzniuta, because I was a little ahead there. But I'm not sure, is that somehow there's a transformation from that into the name Sag, which has to do with the ear. So that you have the face, the general face, or the payos, or I'm not sure what that could mean, what it means. It means the lights of the face. And he says, and this Sag. And then you say the word, that's what's coming. Okay, they're going to say, this is what's coming. You can bring this, you say the word and it's a shilov of Havaya Adni. And he says, the Feres de Zah, the Kasser de Nuk. So that's what he says. That's what this Havaya Adni combo. It's an Adni Havaya combo, which with Malchus beginning the letters. Okay, so I looked at the Nikudim of it. It's not an ordinary kind of way of being menaked this. Going on, then it comes down a little bit further, you get the same combo again. It goes from there, that's a Teferes Tezav, a Kesser Denok, and then you get another, the same lights are continuing onwards, downwards, until they get to the letter Mem, which is the second part of the word Amen. So you're bringing the lights down, and I was hoping that maybe this Adnes Havaya was going to be different, but it's not. It's the same Nikudos. And he said that this represents that it travels downwards from through Teferes, let's say, and Kesser Denuk, Yisod Zav Vadas Denuk, and so this is the transfer, I guess, of the light from Zer Anpin into the Nuk. So first it went into, it was in Zer Anpin, so he got that from Ima. And then it went into the Kesser, the Nuk, which corresponds to his Teferes at the Chaz of the Zah. Then the Yisod of Zer Anpin corresponds to the Das of where the Nuk is. So now you've gone down Amen. You've got, Ameh. And you got to go now with the same set of lights. They're still moving. Which is the Shin Ayin and the Shin Ayin of above the 2 Kales. And the 3 Sags still moving. And they go down to the Nun. No, I know Nun. Nun's supposed to be Malchus. What does he say? He says this represents an or that's been between Netzach and Hod Zeranpin. It sounds like it keeps going down the straight middle line and continues through the Yesod of Zeranpin. That's what it looks like to me. It goes down between the legs, the goof of the nook, and it goes ultimately, that line corresponds to the goof of the nook. Okay, that's where the legs of Zeranpin corresponds to. And here's down at the bottom. This is a real thrower for me. I don't know why he did this, but he does. He says, I'll throw something on, an idea on it. He says that you have Yud K Vav K twice, which are two Ma's. So what has Ma got to do with all the stuff that we saw up above here? Because actually this is a destination place. And I'm just thinking the idea that we can only say about it, what does it represent? It represents the middle line. So I can't answer really what the Ma's are doing there. We did a pretty good job getting down here. But this is what's happening. At any rate, you're bringing this down the center shaft, and everything is moving. Yehei, Shmei, Rabba. What is it called? Yiskadal, V'yiskadal, Yehei, Yishmei, Rabba. That's where we're at. And then the word Amen. That's the best we could do. Hoping I'm really thinking that it's no way of possibly be able to decipher the RASHASH without working on the RASHASH, because he's got to use, just like everything else, the same language in many, many different places, and maybe we can figure it out. Now, yesterday was having, just parenthetically, was having a problem with, he had this phrase which was called the tselem, and then he went on to use the word tselem. Tselem of the Naranchi. So then, I guess we know that it's called Sama. So tselem is another layer. So I guess I think that's what he means. But, just so many things to keep, to look at. So we'll just keep looking at his ideas. Now, I think that yesterday was the 13th Kislev. I think that I really didn't mark it good. I think we're on page Taf Reish Yud Bet. And we're on number Riv. Reish Yud Bet, which there are those who say, be careful with that name. It's also the name Rebbe. You ever look at the Kriya Shemal Lamita? I can't look at it too much. But they do use this concept of 213 as a weapon. It's a weapon over there. I haven't been able to figure it out, really. Let's read on. It says, Amnam, he says like this, Da ki yesh chiluk echad ma'arba cholomas atzilus bri yitzir and asiya. There's one big difference here, it says. What is that? Amnam, he said, we see yeshnam chiluk echad bein olam atzilus d'shloshas olamas abiyah. V'hu ki hamalchus d'atzilus kol lusa. Now we know it's not the Esespheres themselves, it's a ha'ara, and then, excuse me, interrupting, but how do we get the fact that all 10 spheres don't go into Bria? So it's really because the Kesser has to remain. I believe that's what we've learned elsewhere. So he means, though, in the ha'ara, because you're going to get a ha'ara from it. I think that's my explanation. Kol klal lusa v'kol ha'esespheres of the kolalim sheba he mizlavshim ba'osem ha'arba oris hanimshacha b'menu. They're all clothed in the 4 that go down. So he answered my question. I'm sorry. Because as this starts to go down, he says, Azai kol ha'esespheres shel ha'malchus d'Atzilus. Then what happens is all the 10 spheros of the malchus of the Tzilus, Mislavshim ba'arba oros shehim hatani, they're clothed inside of the 4 lights which are in the Tani, Shalom Malchus. So now the Tani is the Malchus. So all of them squeeze in there. They get a compartment for themselves, Hanikraim Kisa Kavod, and these 4, that contains all of this good stuff. That's the makings of the Kiseh. Hanikraim Kisa Kavod Barosh Bria, which is at the very top of Bria. So they're elements of that compartmentalized shefa that's coming out of Atzilus, of the Malchus of Atzilus. Him sod kiseh kavod. Excuse me. Asher nimsa barosh olam abriya. Nimsa, so it comes like this. Kel malchus misleveshes bekisa kavod. Malchus, now we understand. The nimsa sha essence sphere shalom malchus. There's an essence or an ha'ara from them. Shalom malchus datzila mislavshim bekisa kavod. Shehem ha'or ha'nimshach mitani the malchus datzila. So that's where it originally came from. V'hakise mislavish behechul kodesh gadashim. So now they represent the kisei themselves. So it's just like the king prepares, so to speak, his own throne. It's a place that he can rest. So he gets an essence of himself or some aspect of himself as it winds up being as this kisei. V'hakise atzmach shuchu oros eses spheres shalom malchus im oros atani de malchus. Mislavshim behechel kodesh gadashim to olam abriya avach ve'ein davar kain b'shar olamos, but that same thing does not apply elsewhere. At b'shachar b'cholamos bia ein the davar kain, but the thing is not like that there. Behem einem yordan mislavshim b'seitach hazeh. Ki malchus the bria ein kol eses spheres sheba mislavshim b'kisei ashecha b'rosha etzira, because they all don't go in. Shaharecham b'malchus the olam abriya kasher choy yered as the olam etzira. Azai lo yordim call the eses spheres the lom slavish besota kisa the nimsa ba'olam atzira. It's not exactly the same. So he says amnam. So we see like this. Chelek ha'asiri sheba, the 10th portion of it, a tenth of it. V'rak ha'chelek ha'asiri shal malchus shu ha'malchus shal malchus belvad. So we're talking about lower worlds now. He says. He hayoredes in mislaveshes behechel kodesh gadashim yitzira. Hu hachelek hayored min hamalchus the bria mislavish behechel kodesh gadashim yitzira. One more. He says he's a became yitzira l'asiya, also from going from yitzira to asiya. V'chein al zera derek yored rak chelek hamalchus the malchus shal olam yitzira l'hislavish behechel kodesh gadashim the olam yitzira. So now. We're going to stop here because we're really out of time. And thank you very much for learning with me today. We saw a couple of things and I could figure something out.
Good.
Call to it.